Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is me, Lizzie. I had a request from a very good friend, my friend Lizzie, to please do a diamond painting whip and chat. So, this is for you. It is raining, and I've lived in Texas 11 years, and this is the rainiest summer we've ever had. It's nice because, whatever. But, yeah, I look like crap. I haven't combed my hair. Greg's at work. I just wanted to get some filming done. He was home for 4 days, driving me crazy because of the holiday, and God love him, he needs to go to work. So, let me pull it down. I should probably tell you what I'm looking at. Diamond Art Club, Reflections on Country Living. This was a gift from the lovely, beautiful, wonderful Susan Z, who I love dearly. So I guess let's get to getting, and I will just talk about life in general, and we'll see how it goes. So give me a second, let me get some gems, and I'll be right with you. Okay, so we're back, and I'm going to work on a little drumstick looking thing, and it is color 3861. This is Reflections on Country Living by Chuck Pinson. They had a chuck along, and I didn't get very far, but I did do some of it. But yeah, anyway, so this is a square, and of course it's Chuck Pinson, so it's very confetti heavy. I get my groove back. I haven't diamond painting in so long, I forgot what I'm doing. But yeah, the last day of my college class was, I'm going to say May 9th. And then she had told us that we should give ourselves a month to study for our our NHA exam, because it was complicated. And so I went on the NHA website, and I tried to do it every day. And at first I was doing really good because I was in the groove, and I was like studying, and they have practice tests, and they have all sorts of information on the NHA website, so you can study. And I found another website that had like guessing games, and that was kind of fun. And if you got the answer right, you made puzzles. So yeah, I was doing really well. And then, I don't know, I just kind of fell off the wagon, and I think for about a week I didn't do anything. And my husband's like, "Are you studying for your NHA exam?" And I'm like, yeah. So I went back to it, and everything was going fine, and I was being a good girl and studying. And so I got a text from one of the gals in my class, and her name is Christina. And she was like, "I'm going to take the test on whatever that Saturday or Sunday that was." And I said, "Oh my God, okay. Tell me how it is." And she's like, "I will." And there's a couple ways you could do the test. You could take it at home, which is what I did, or you could go to a center, and that's what Christina did. And so she had her test, and I didn't hear for a couple days, and I was worried. And my husband's like, "Have you heard from Christina? How was it?" And Christina is super brilliant, so I knew she would pass. So her not saying anything scared the crap out of me. I'm like, oh my God, if Christina, one of the smartest girls in the class, didn't do well on it, oh my Lord, what happened? What am I gonna do? I mean, I don't consider myself smart. I consider myself a hard worker. Um, I can be taught. I'm open to education. But, you know, you meet people in your life that, you know, they read it once and they know it. I'm not that girl. I'm the girl that every B I ever got in my life, I had to worry and sweat through. So that's my that's just me. So finally I heard from Christina and she was like, "Oh my gosh, girl." And I'm like freaking out. I'm like, "What?" She's like, "Oh, it was, you know, she said I passed, but I sweated it." And then I said, "Oh dear, okay." So that motivated me to get off the laziness cycle that I had lapsed into and start really studying. And she had gave me a couple different, she's like, "Make sure you study this and make sure you study that." And I'm like, okay. So she said, so you're going to the center to take it?" And I said, "No, I'm going to take it at home." She's like, "Okay, whatever." She thought that would be really distracting. And I was hoping that Greg would be at work, and the day of the exam came, and yeah, he wasn't at work. So I did mine online, and you have to check in a day earlier, so I had done that, and I had done all the things that they had asked me to do, because you have to run an internet speed test to make sure that you can take it, and they have to check and make sure your camera works, because literally, they are watching you, and everything you do, they have control of your computer. So, it sounds frightening, and at first I was freaking out, and I had to clean off my entire table. There could be nothing on my table. I think I got to have a pen and a piece of paper, and that was it. And I had to pick up my laptop and circle the room and show them what was going, it was like in my house and stuff. And I was like, oh wow, I got dirty dishes. And while I'm turning my computer around, I had a cup of coffee sitting on the table, and then my laptop plugged in because I was panicking that, all of a sudden, whoops, there's no power, and, you run out of juice, you'll be in trouble. So I spilled my cup of coffee all over my chair. Yeah. Which was fine because I had to move it anyway. No drinks. Nobody could be in the room. Had to be absolutely quiet. Cell phones turned off. And in fact, after the exam was over, I had to hold up the piece of paper and show it to her and then rip it up in front of the lady on screen. I think it was a lady. I never saw the person that watched me. And Greg was asleep in the bedroom, and I had said, I'm going to take my test. He knew I was going to take my test. And he's like, just, know that you have to be quiet. And so I went in to check into the exam, and oh my gosh. Sorry, I need a drink. Something went wrong. Even though I had run all the computer tests that I needed to do, I couldn't get into it, and so time is clicking by. And since you only have like an hour, was it an hour, or maybe it was an hour and a half, 2 hours to finish this test, I was freaking out because I'm like, oh my gosh, should I just tell them I'll do it another day after we figure out. So I'm texting school, and I'm like, I can't do it. And they're like, call this number. So I called the number, and this guy was trying to help me. And I can figure things out on the computer, but you on the other end of the phone telling me what to do, he had a control of my computer, and he was like trying to help me. And ooh, you know, I'm panicking because I got to take this. And I'm saying this to him, I have to take my test, I have to take my test. And he's like, yes, 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 we'll figure it out. And I'm like, okay. So finally, I get into the testing center thing. And so, I had to go all the way through it again. She had to see the room, look at my piece of paper that I had. I had to show my pen. You can't take a break and go to the bathroom. And she said, if anybody comes in the room and I hear them or see them, the exam will be stopped and it'll be canceled, and you will have to reschedule and retake it. And it was like $175 test. And the first one that you take is free because school paid for it. But if you flunk the test, or for whatever reason you don't, how do I say it? You don't, you have to stop taking the test and reschedule, then you have to pay for it. Because I was like, no, I'm not going to pay that much money. I am going to pass this test, and I am going to do it at home. So I said, would you excuse me for a minute? And I'm going to go and tell my husband that he has to leave. And so I went in the bedroom and I said to him, listen, I said, I'm fixed on starting my test. It's going to be 2 hours. You cannot come in the room at all. You know, we live in the RV, and basically it's like 3 rooms. We have the main room, which has the kitchen, dining room, and living room, and then we have a bedroom where we sleep, and then the back room is where the cats are, and storage and that kind of stuff. Sorry, I gotta switch colors here. I want to. Okay. Okay, got my next color. I'm gonna do 3860. It looks like a nuclear symbol or something. So he said, okay, and so I gave him a big cup of coffee and he went outside. And so I started my test, and while I was doing my test, I was like, this sounds really familiar, so that made me happy. She never stopped me or said, you know, whatever. Once I start taking the test, I'm focused on that, so it didn't bother me that, you know, I really didn't think about somebody watching me is what I'm trying to get at, so that didn't bother me. And so I finished, and I have a bad problem, and I talked to my professor about this too when I was in class. She's like, I know you know this, why do you test so badly? And I said, I think part of the problem is that I think about it, and then I go back and change answers. And she's like, oh no, don't do that. She said, you know, once you pick your answer, stick with it, because usually your first thought is the correct one. So I did that on this test. I did go through it to make sure that I answered every single question, because obviously, even if I wasn't sure on something, I wanted at least an answer in there somewhere. So I submitted it, and she said, thank you. And I'm like, when am I going to hear? And she goes, we'll email you. And I'm like, oh God, okay. And so I got done, and Greg's like, well, did you pass? And I'm like, dude, I don't know. You know, they have to grade my test. And he's like, it's online. And I'm like, yeah, I know it's online, but, you know, they didn't tell me. So I don't know. So, you know, he's like, well, you're going to check. And I'm like, I'm panicking. And I'm like, Christina had really scared the crap out of me, because I'm thinking to myself, if the smartest girl in class, you know, freaked out, I'm going to, you know, oh my God, what am I going to do? So I was texting Christina. I'm like, oh, I'm like that. It wasn't hard because I knew all the information. It was just tricky. It was like they were trying to be tricky. And the practice exam that they had put on their website, seriously, it was not, I mean, it was, I, I don't want to say it wasn't like what they tested me on, but it wasn't like what they tested me on, okay? The questions were different. Um, oops, making a mess. So I'm like, Christina, I need to, I don't know. I need to go panic for a while, and this is what I do. I panic, and so she's like, okay, girl, text me later. I'm like, okay. So I got an email, and I opened the email, and it said something about your exam results. So I was like, ooh, I don't want to look, I don't want to look, I don't want to look. And so seriously, I did not look at them. Finally, I went on that night, I went on to the website, and it said the results were not ready. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to go to bed and get up in the morning when nobody's around and look at them. Well, I got up the next day, and I checked the NHA website, and they still weren't posted. And so I texted Christina. I'm like, I don't know what's going on, hon. They still haven't posted my results yet, and I'm just, I'm worried. I said it was nightmarish. She's like, I'm so sorry, I scared you. I'm like, it's okay. But later that day, I got another email, and it said, if you want your diploma, certificate, whatever, mailed to you, you can do it one time for free. Plus, you get a miniature size if you passed. And I'm like, does that mean I passed? Is this just like a blank email they send out to everybody? What is going on? So finally, I checked, and I got my results, and I passed, and I did way better than I thought I was, and it was so relieving. I mean, I just was like, because my teacher even said that when she took it the first time, she said that she had thought she had failed it. So I'm like, oh, but I figured out I got like a high B or A minus maybe. But Christina and I were trying to figure out how they do this, but I guess out of the questions they give you, then they throw out some, and then they grade you on the ones. I don't know, but the point of the matter is I passed. And I was at the dental office the other day, and I said, I passed, because, I was telling him that I really wanted my teeth fixed because this is what, I'm working for. And he's, I don't really want to go to job interviews with my teeth in the place they are now, because people judge you so much. Like, okay, does she just have really bad teeth, or is she on drugs, or, so that's what I want to have, my teeth in a place where I can go in and feel confident, because I think confidence is, even if you're not confident, to like put off vibes that you're confident is a good thing. Where are we at on this thing? I can't even tell. I don't know. Oh, 20 minutes. Wow. 20 minutes of that. Hope you're enjoying this, Lizzie, because everybody else is probably taking a nap. So yeah, so I passed. I haven't got my certificate yet because I had it sent to my mother-in-law's. I did print out my diploma when I was at my mother-in-law's on her computer. I was there printing things off, and my husband's like, will you not use up all my father's ink? And I'm like, okay. So in the midst of that, I was coloring, and my grant money ran out, which I knew was going to happen, so no extra money to play with anymore till I get a job, and that's, and then, so I really felt good about myself. I know where I want to work. I want to work for the VA hospital, and there's several. If you're from Texas, you know that there's a lot of military bases, and I live really near San Antonio, so it would be super easy for me to get a job at a VA hospital, which I want to do because, duh, I want government benefits. I want to retire on the government, so yeah. And plus, my ex was military, my dad was military, there's a lot of military in my family. My brother-in-law is retired military, so there's that aspect, and I'm a flag-waving American, so in between this time, I've been trying to figure out what to do with my hair, because I know you're all like, really? This is what you're worried about? Yes, truly. I have a lot of hair, but it's pretty fine. And not fine like in a good way, like, ooh, she's fine. It's fine like as in skinny hair. Which makes no sense, because I have a big butt and thin hair. I mean, what's up with that? But, so I started watching this girl, and I will put her down below, and she's Australian, and I really like retro stuff. I mean, I just do. So this girl lives like it's the 1950s. That's her job, but she does it all the time. So she was pin curling her hair, and I liked how it looked. When I was little, my mom used to make us wear those big pink rollers, and so if I take a shower, wash my hair, and roll my hair, it'll stay in a curl. It's my hair is fine and thin, but it will take a curl. So I'm trying to figure out how to get my hair to look halfway decent. So I didn't have any bobby pins. I think I had 2 bobby pins. So I thought, well, maybe if I just, braid it, and when my hair is wet, I'll get some curls. So I tried to do that, and I just ended up with like Frizz City. And so I went to the Dollar Tree, and I purchased these rollers, and they're like stick rollers, and I bought a thing of bobby pins. So I figured, $2 is what, I could try that. So I couldn't get those stick rollers to work. I don't know if it's because they were the cheap Dollar Tree kind or what, but the pin curls were okay. I think it seems to me through much trial and error that after you pin curl or roll your hair, what's most important is the brushing out and getting the hair to, form in the way that you want it. So I usually part my hair in the middle, and then I have more hair on one side of my head. It's actually the left side. I have a natural part, so that most of my hair is on the left side of my head. I know, like you care, but so I'm trying to figure out how to do this, and I had bought like this cheap scarf from the Dollar Tree, and I tied it around my head, and my husband is just, he's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm trying to have pretty hair. Because they said that if you pin curled your hair or rollered it or whatever, and the next day, and then you comb it into place and then you spray it, it should last a couple days. So that's what I was hoping for when because the whole thought was to get a job and my hair look halfway decent. Because this is what's important to me. I know, don't ask, it's just, yeah. So, yeah. Through much trial and error, I figured out, I actually did go back to the Dollar Tree and I did buy the pink rollers, but I really liked the pin curl thing, even though it's rather difficult to do and in the back of your head. I really need, if I was going to really do it for real, like for, like for a wedding or something, I think I would have to purchase some setting lotion, which is what you put on your hair before you roll it. And yeah. So anyway, so I'm watching this girl. Her name is Sage, and I'll link her down below if you're interested. So I got caught up in this rabbit hole of retro stuff. So you know how you do that on YouTube? You're like, you start watching one lady and then something else pops up and then you watch this and that. So then I started, after I watched Sage, watched a bunch of Sage's videos, I found this lady who is also dressed as retro, and she did a drunken hair tutorial, which was funny. But she's she lives in England and she's a lesbian. So then I got really involved with her and her wife's life, and I watched all of their videos, and I just I'm falling down the rabbit hole, just literally all of a sudden you look up, you're like, wow, how did I get here? How did I start watching this? It's the same thing I do with Google. Give me a second, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back, I think. Am I back? Back in black. Speaking of which, I am going to do 310. I had to go potty, I'm sorry. On the 4th of July, we went shopping July 2nd or 3rd. I think it was the 3rd. And my neighbor was talking about how they had, his brother-in-law had bought some jalapeno poppers, and oh my gosh. You can make them or you can buy them fresh at the grocery store, which is what I did, and it's a jalapeno, and then they clean it out and they take like half a jalapeno cut longways, and then cream cheese, and then you wrap a piece of bacon around it, and then you put it in the air fryer. And we have an air fryer, which if you don't have an air fryer, I don't know what you're doing with your life. You should get one. You can bake them or air fry them or whatever. Oh my god. And you know me, I'm lactose intolerant, so I mean, they are so good. They're like bacon and cream cheese and jalapeno, and it's not spicy. Well, there's a little bit of spicy, because I'm a wussy when it comes to spice. So if I can eat them, you can eat them. And oh, wow. I've gotten poppers from restaurants where they deep fry them and they put a batter on them. Nothing like that. They're just absolutely fabulous. And so I texted my sister, and because I had bought a big thing of them, and I was like, we have way too many poppers. I can only eat like 3 at a time, 2 or 3. Although if it's up to me, I would eat them all. But yeah, so I asked her if you could freeze them, and she said yes, you can freeze them. However, they might the texture might be a little different, but I haven't tried them yet, so I split them up. I split up the package, and we cooked some, and then froze some, and it was, oh, they're so good. Oh my god. And of course, on the 4th of July, Greg, he always overdoes it. This year he didn't do a brisket. We had frankfurters, which is different than a hot dog. They have the natural casing on them, which I love. Oh my gosh. So they kind of get that snap when you bite into them. And then we had hamburgers. And then Kirsty did sausage. And we did we have beans? Yeah, we had beans. I like sweet beans, like baked beans, like Campbell's in the can. And he likes more like ranch style beans, which is a pinto bean. Campbell's beans are like, I guess they're navy beans. Oops, get down. So yeah. Oh, and we had watermelon. Oh, God. Ate like a horse. And the weather was really good. And then last year, since the COVID was going on, our neighbors had bought a bunch of fireworks, so we just sat out there and watched them shoot off fireworks. And I had looked on the internet, this little town that we lived by, Lido, I wanted to see if they were having fireworks, because even though I knew Greg wouldn't want to go because he never wants to do anything fun, man is not sociable. I was going to drive down to Lido and watch fireworks and come home. And I looked on the website and they had canceled them. And I said, huh, that's really weird. They canceled their fireworks. And Greg's like, yeah, I had heard that I don't know what's going on in China, probably more COVID, but for some reason that fireworks were hellaciously expensive. And so I thought, oh, and that's why it said on the website too that they had canceled their fireworks because of the expense for the city of Lytle, and it's just a teeny town. My dentist is there. There's a grocery store, a Dollar Tree. I mean, it's a couple fast food restaurants. It's tiny. It does have a liquor store though, in case you're interested. And so I was like, that's a bummer. Well, probably our neighbors will shoot them off. And Greg's like, I don't know, hon, with even the price is expensive. And so around here, since we live out in the county, you're not supposed to shoot off fireworks in town, but they do anyway, in San Antonio proper. So am I filming? I hope I am. Yes. So they set up like, maybe it's a law or something. They can only do it for a certain amount of time. I'm not really sure. But they set up like these little side shacks where they sell fireworks in the county. And so there's one not far from us. And usually to get people to buy their fireworks, they'll shoot off some. I didn't really see hardly anything at all. It was very disappointing. I mean, Texans love fireworks, and it was really sad. But we were talking to our friend, and he had bought a couple some fireworks for his kids. I mean, he said he barely got anything, and it cost him $75. So we're like, wow. He said, I just got some Roman candles and some sparklers, and it was expensive. I'm like, oh. So yeah, my dog was really happy because she hates fireworks, and the cats too. They hate fireworks. They hate the booming. So usually, especially Hershey, my big black cat, he gets freaked out and he'll come snuggle with me. I don't think he was freaked out at all. There was a couple little boom booms, but nothing like the past year, I mean, in fact, on New Year's Eve, the fireworks were better than they were on the 4th of July, which is so not, so not like Texas. So, yeah. So, yeah, that was a bummer. But, I did see a couple, but nothing spectacular. Usually they like go on till like 2 in the morning. You're like, okay, that's enough already. And then 4th of July, I think they only blew off like a couple. Excuse me, I need to get a drink. My throat is dry. So, since 4th of July this year was on a Sunday, most people had Monday off, which included my husband, and he was driving me crazy because he had like he had Saturday, Sunday, Monday off, and so he had like a 3-day weekend, and needed to go to work. And what else happened? So in May, I got my first COVID shot right after I graduated, and I called Greg and I said, you want me to come pick you up and get your COVID shot? And he's like, no, I'll do it later. And I'm like, okay, sure. And I wasn't surprised because he was always like, should I get it? Should I not get it? I don't know. So I got mine, and it was the Pfizer, and that's the one I wanted to get. I had heard things about the Moderna and the Johnson & Johnson, so that's the one I wanted. So I got my Pfizer shot, and everything was cool. I mean, my arm was sore, but it wasn't like, I'm going to die, it's killing me kind of sore. I did feel kind of tired the next day, but, who knows what that was, whether that was just, me. And my allergies have been absolutely horrendous this year because we had a lot of rain. And so, it could have been that. There's a whole list of things that can go wrong with me, so who knows. So on June, so anyway, Greg ended up, he did get the shot. He got the Johnson & Johnson, and he ran a small fever, but he was over it, and I was like, wow, you got the shot? I'm so proud of you. And he's like, yeah, I just got the Johnson & Johnson. I want it one and done. And I'm like, well, it's only like 78% effective. And he's like, I don't care, I just want the one and done. So I didn't say anything because, I've been married to this man for 10 years, and he's only been to the doctor once. So, yeah. Not really big on taking care of his health, which is going to come back to bite him in the butt, but I digress. So I went to the H-E-B, which is a grocery store chain here in South Texas, where I had gotten my first shot, and I signed up, and I got in right away, and I got my second shot, and, it was fine. I got home, and I said to him, my arm is sorer than the last time, and he said, oh. So then, I felt okay, not spectacular. I think I was just tired. I think that was mainly my side effect from the COVID shot, it just made me tired. And my arm was sorer than it was the last time. And I asked him, I said, I'm right-handed, so I had it in the left last time. Do I have to have it in the opposite arm? He's like, no, you have it in any arm you want. So I had it in the left again. I did develop some diarrhea, but yet again, who knows? It could have been the COVID shot. Could have been, I ate too much cheese. It's hard to say. And so it's over with, and I'm happy, and especially that Delta variant they got going on, I was like, ooh, no, I don't, sounds terrible. So, But they said that you can still get sick, you just won't get as sick when you have the shot. So I'm like, oh, okay, great. So then my mother-in-law had called us and wanted to know whether I'd gotten a job yet. Yeah, she's very excited for me to get a job. Whole family is, but Greg's like, no. I think she's waiting for her teeth to be fixed, and that's the absolute truth. So I've had several. So what they're doing is they're going to give me a denture and then a partial. So they're not going to take out all of my teeth, but they're going to take out a lot of them. And the ones that he's been doing first, I guess they're broken, and I might have some like infection going on in there. I don't know, but I'm telling you what, painful. The last couple times it's just been absolutely ridiculously painful, and they don't give out pain pills anymore at the dentist office because they're scared to death people are going to get hooked on, you know, Vicodin and become heroin addicts. So nobody. So I switched anyway. This is 2 dots. It's number 434. So nobody gives out pain pills anymore. So, oh man. The last one I had done, my jaw ached. I mean, he said, he went to go get it, and he's like, you're going to have to hold still. And he's like, he poked me first of all, and he goes, can you feel that? And I go, no, I just feel pressure. And he's like, that's good. But when he went to pull it, holy macaroni, it felt like, you ever bite on a piece of tin foil and then extreme pain at the same time? And he goes, you gotta hold still. And I said, I am so sorry. And I'm like, you know, and he goes, shoot, and which is never a good thing with the dentist. And I go, what's the matter? And he says, you're gonna really have to hold still because I broke it. And I'm like, oh no. Yeah, it was a rough one. And then the next day, my jaw, it's like, I don't know, but after you get done, they give you gauze pad, and you're supposed to hold the gauze pad in your mouth up against where you had the tooth pulled. And I feel like I was clenching my jaw, and so I had a horrendous headache. Like, not like a migraine, but I did take a migraine pill because that helps a lot. Also, they make me sleepy, which is a plus plus when your jaw is killing you, and Tylenol, and I just was in absolute misery, and had such a headache. And my husband's like, what are you gonna eat? And I'm like, macaroni and cheese. And when they give you the gauze pad, you're so frightened because you're supposed to clench down, that I clenched down too hard, and I think that that's another reason why my jaw aches. Besides the extreme pressure that he comes after you with a pair of pliers on your teeth, it's like, ah! So yeah, I had tears in my eyes, but I sucked them in, and it was really bad. And then that was like July 1st. No, it was June 30th, and then the 1st, I had to film my, what I colored in June, and holy macaroni, I was like, ow! Let's get through this quickly so I can go lay down. Yeah, the big baby. What are we at? Lizzie bed, we are at 44, so I'm going to stop for that because that's good enough. It's enough chatting, and it'll take me forever to upload. If you are interested in anything that I do and would like a special request that I do something for you, let me know down in the comments below, and I will be more than happy to do that for you. I like to do a lot of different stuff, I do get in like jags where I like to diamond paint for a while, and then I like to color for a while, and then I cross stitch. So if there's something you would like to see me do, let me know. And I know Susan always has good ideas. She's always tormenting Lizzie and making her do weird stuff. But there you go, Lizzie. That's for you, my darling Lizzie Bat. And you, Susan, because I know you missed my WIP chat. So I don't feel like I talked about anything. Just malarkey. But yeah. I am doing okay. I hope that you guys are okay. So, this one was for you, Lizzie. I love you, girl. If anybody wants to see me do something, you know, just put it down in the comments. As long as it's not dirty, I'll be happy to do it for you. So, thank you so much. Have a great day. Subscribe if you'd like. Ring the notification bell. Bell. Good Lord. I'm a random poster. And so that's all you know that I'm going to post. Thank you so much. Subscribe. 75% of the people that watch my videos are not subscribed. Why? Why, people? Why? Subscribe. Have a great day. See you later. Bye.